Hey, let me know if you can hear me. I am organizing the pictures that I have. So we've got 11 people in the room. Please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. And if you can comment, there you go. Hey, Quasi. Hey, Mickey. Can you guys hear me? Mickey, Josie, Saraya, can you hear me? Should be able to, but who knows? Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I wanted to get my pictures organized, but the truth is, how can you ever? How can I ever? Okay, getting Mike in there with Justine and then JK and their nonsense and Joala and their nonsense. Okay, we'll hope for the best. All right, you guys. I haven't done this in a long time, so let me try to remember, how I do it. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love After Lockup. This is season 6, episode 11. Read Between the Lies, or Daddy, baby daddy, or daddy something. I've been trying to find out the real information. So I got from one website that it was Life After Lockup, which let me change it right now. That it was Life After Lockup, season 10, episode 11, like baby daddy or something. What's it called? Daddy drama. And then I went on the We website to try to get the real deal Holyfield, and they said that it's season 6, episode 11, a continuation of season 6 of Love After Lockup, and it's called Read Between the Lies. So I don't know. Mickey, I just started. We don't have the bandwidth to get a lot of stuff done for DocuSweeties, just because time and scheduling. And I felt like we couldn't just leave our audience without anything. And so right now on DocuSweeties, the only thing that we're doing, or the two things that we're doing, is HEA and Hunt for Love. But we're not going to continue on to do the other way. We're just going to continue on for HEA just because scheduling and time constraints. And so I'm like, I can't just leave y'all like, okay, DocuSweeties is not going to be working or, putting out as much content. So I'm just call me Wah can do it, So I will still be doing UK with Shay for DocuSweeties. And then I'm going to start to move a lot of the stuff back to just call me Wah until our schedules and like all that jazz can get back together. Because I do enjoy doing this work and I love you guys as an audience, and it's not as interactive with the podcasting. While I love podcasting, it's not as interactive with you guys. And so I was like, I need to come back to this, and I'm doing some changes in my work and different things. So I think that I should be able to do this. I'm going to go shut my door because while it's a lovely Zen garden out there and I can hear the fountain going, I don't want that to be like in the background. I want you to hear me loud and clear as I go through. So give me 1 second. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get the party started. Thank you, Dedria. My son used to yell melanated when he was 6 or 7. I was watching everything. Aww. You're not the only ones. There's Jasmine's son used to yell melanated too. And I love that. That makes me so happy. Even though I stole it from Erykah Badu, but still, it's fine. Okay. Guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you feel so inclined, if I make you laugh and you want to give your girl a tip, you can do so with the options down below. Let's jump right into this episode. Let's mark here that the episode actually starts at 21:16. And let's get started. All right, so we're first going to start off with Letitia and Keith. Now, Letitia and Keith, it's been a long time coming. I feel like this is the third time that we have seen her on the Love After Lockup or Love During Lockup or Life After Lockup. This is the first time or the third time that we've seen her. And we could all tell that she was real thirsty for the limelight. Like, just remember in the beginning when she tried to tell her employees that they were going to have to take direction from this man from prison. And then she was caught, or has been arrested and is out right now. She's fighting a legal case, which she talks about in this episode, which I kind of like, fighting a legal case because of theft. And I imagine it has something to do with her tax business, but I don't know. I don't know. But she is finally going to be able to be reunited with her quote king. People, listen, I love Black people. I love the Black community. And I love the fact that we, as a way of rallying and giving ourselves an infusion of power in a space, in a country in which we have not felt powerful or been powerful, to refer to each other as kings and queens, as like a way of like bowing down to one's majesty in a place that tells you that you're not it. But he ain't a king. He ain't a king. And so sometimes I'm like, it's really interesting the terminologies that people use in order to describe their situations or the people that they're in love with in the show. And I will bring it up again because JK also does the same thing. We'll get there when we get there. So her husband has been in jail for 11 years, and she has been with him, I think, for 4 or 5 years. At first, she said it was a pen pal situation, that she wasn't planning on being with this guy, but they fell in love. And after several visits to the prison, she decided to marry him. In the beginning of this episode, we have her starting off in a hotel room in a black robe with what must be lingerie underneath, which is lingerie, pink lingerie that's see-through because she shows the camera. And I'm like to myself, if I were a person who was not into sex work, like if I were a person who was just like a layman, just like a regular degs, and not to say that that's negative, just a person that is in sex work, I don't know that I would unveil myself in front of strangers, because the camera crew is there. When you think these people are in the room by themselves or in the room with just a friend, no. There are at least 5 people behind the camera. So it's not to an audience. It's not to us just like, watching. It's to people who are actually in the room. So she does that. And I was like, oh, girl. She says that he gets dropped off at noon, and about an hour after that, she might be pregnant. And we're like, oh, already off to the races, making great choices, huh, moms? Making great choices. And that is like hot off the heels of her telling us that she, for the last year, hadn't been taking care of herself. She hadn't been getting her hair done. She hadn't been getting out of bed. And I said, okay, full-blown depression. I understand being sued, thinking that your husband's going to come out and he's not going to come out. And you have these kids that you've been selling this dream to, and the dream's not coming to fruition. So, okay. But now she's like, I can't wait. I'm ready for my soft life, for my husband to get out. And those of us in the audience are like, huh, what an interesting thought. In my mind, I won't have the soft life until 7 years after my man's out of prison, because that's when his record kind of goes away. No? I mean, no? Everyone has high hopes, and I feel like it's the song like from Drake. And I know I'm not supposed to quote Drake, but I am. Got a lot of energy. I got high hopes for you. We gonna see. That is how I feel about them. I've got high hopes, I guess. I hope we got high hopes. We got high in the sky in the high hopes. So she says that she fell in love with him before sex, like Jesus has always wanted them. So like, what would Jesus do? Which means that she would have sex with him full on at any time after he gets out, ready to go. So she's bought him a bunch of things that he requires as a person getting out of prison, which is Jordans and polo attire. And this is where you lose me. This is where I'm out of the conversation, because unless this man has been sending her money while he's in prison so that she can survive, and or sent her money and said, hey, give me a fresh fit. It's been 11 years. My clothes are from 2010. So if you could just bring me up to speed, you know what I mean? I'm not saying the man had FUBU, but like, I don't know what was in style for men back in 2010. But if he were a woman, he would have had on a statement necklace, a peplum shirt, business attire with a ballet flat. So he's like, I need some upgraded clothing. But I don't know if that's what happened. She makes it seem like she's on the phone talking to Aunt Marcia, talking about how big his D is. And she then tells Aunt Marcia, yeah, I got him all these clothes because I want my man to look fine and fly and fit. I got him some cologne. And that's the last thing I'm like, look, I'm going to get you some underwear. I'm going to get you some shoes. But cologne? Nuh-uh, baby, you're just going to have to wear that Dove for men, okay? Get a little Old Spice, a smell that I enjoy, deodorant, and that's what you're going to wear. Cologne is an absolute luxury. Now, you may not think that. For those of you who are avid perfume wearers, I just recently stepped back into the perfume arena because I don't have my migraines anymore. But it is absolutely a luxury. And we're not talking about body splash because, men don't have no body splash. And if they do have it, it smells awful. So she's gotten that man a cologne. Something that she probably spent at least $75 on if it's going to be good. I don't know if she went to the Arab store and got her some oud, some oils. That would have been a better deal. But we don't. She's from Iowa, I think, right? I know she's picking him up in Colorado, though. So anyway, she says she's been in survival mode since I don't know when, because they've never met on the outside. So I don't know when she's ever been in survival mode, but that she's so happy because she just wants to sit back and be pretty. And you know what? I'm not gonna hold you. Letitia is pretty. She's a crazy picture of her, but she's pretty. She is a very beautiful woman. I'm gonna give her that. She's crazy, but she's beautiful. Okay. So then she gets picked up by a limo driver because she has, of course, obviously, you guys, has to go pick him up in a limo so that he can floss and flex in front of the other inmates getting out of prison, and so that they can have some kind of prom fantasy about being. I'm gonna tell you right now, you guys tell me. I don't find anything exciting about being in a limo. Limos are so, to me, antiquated. They're like an old school idea of like what luxury is. I feel like now you just get picked up in a black SUV. Like if it's not a Lincoln Navigator, can you get it out of my face? Because who has time to be scooching around in a limo? It feels very like 90s, you know what I mean? And as I'm reminded daily, we are 20 years out of the 90s, 20 years out of the last 90. We're 25 years. We're 26 years. 26 years from 1999. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Don't you feel like you just wasted time? Like, is crazy. It's crazy. Thank you. Limos were cool in the 2000s. Aren't we still? Oh, you mean the aughts, so like 2000 to 2009. Girl, it was cool in the 80s and the 90s for show. However, I wouldn't turn a limo down. You're right. If I could just sit right by the door. Girl, I'm not moving in the limo. I'm not going further into the limo. How am I going to get out? Roll? Just got to, okay, I'm just going to scooch on over here. Okay. So get on out of here. Scooch. Excuse me. Excuse me. That is going to be me in the limo. That is going to be me in the limo. So we got to sit by the door. All right. So this Cadillac limo pulls up with this amazing man in it. This man knew his assignment. He said, oh, I'm going to be on TV. Okay. I'm going to give the people what they want. And what they want is for me to actively engage with the pretty lady sitting in the back seat. So he gonna ask her, oh, what are the pillows for? Okay. Oh, he's getting out of prison. Okay. The celebrations for prison. Oh, okay. Celebrations for prison. Thank you. Cool. So, is there a special route you want to take to where you need to go? And she's like, listen, the route that gets us to Iowa in 24 hours, because that's where my man needs to be in 24 hours, is Iowa at the halfway house. And so he's very accommodating. They've actually got the space kind of jazzed up inside of the limo. I didn't take a picture of it, but if you saw the episode, then you know what I'm talking about. All right. So They get to the bus station and this girl's like, oh my God, it's the bus station. She's so overcome and overwhelmed and filled with love. And she finally gets to see her man, and he's got a bucket hat on, which is all the style, all the rage. Okay. Bucket hats are here, there, and everywhere in the Matt Sharp world. Okay. And so he's got a bucket hat on and he goes to greet her. She's got a weird bouquet of flowers. I couldn't tell what they were. They looked like they were made out of paper, or maybe they had money in them. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of hugging, there's a lot of touching of his hair. And he just talks about how his number one goal is to never go back to prison. His number one goal. And I said, your number two goal is to get some concealer. That's the number two goal. Just a little concealer around that outside. That man looks like he ain't slept well in a long time. But them dreads, though, listen, if she wants to call him a king because of how luscious those locks are, then I will give her that. But she needs to be very specific about why she's calling him a king. Sometimes he has a gold grill, a full gold grill, and sometimes he doesn't. I thought that it was permanently in there, but it's not permanently in there. So that is something new for me. Great. So we assume that at this point, the limo driver is just going to take them off so that they can like have sex in a cornfield or behind a bush, because they're in Colorado. So not cornfield yet. Cornfield in Iowa. They have sex there. She's trying to get pregnant. She's trying to move. I don't understand why people think that propelling one's life forward means having children. I have a whole rant about that. And I just think that it is terribly selfish. Terribly selfish. Okay, so before we move on, I see we have 35 people in the room. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I feel like because I've loved you guys so long, I don't even deserve 36 people in the room, 35 people. But if you are here, can you please give this video a thumbs up? And if you are feeling so inclined, if I make you laugh and you want to support your girl, you can do so by any of the options down below. Super chat I don't even think super chat is a thing anymore. So maybe I need to like see what the options are. I think you can do a thank you now. So so there. Joseph says, I need to know how his loctician is in prison because they did they damn thing. You're right. Oh my God, Lynn J. Girl, I'm glad you put I need to change. I'm glad you put Lynn J, because I would have been like, who the is I need to change my name. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And limos are nice for prom night, but that's where it stops. Thank you. All right, so let's move on. Am I missing any other comments? Yeah, girl, you do not go deep in the limo, okay? Because you're never coming out of it. That's for the young folks. That's for the kids going to prom to go ahead and get on deep in there. Thank you so much. All right, so next couple that we are going to talk about is Will and Courtnee. Oh God, I think Will and Courtnee, and then like JK and Brooke are going to be my favorite, because the calamity in which these folks have found themselves in is just, it's quite funny to me. So we've got Will, who's been tracking her signal, and he says as of about a day ago, he's talking to his like diary cam, as about a day ago, that the signal was in the middle of a river and it disappeared. So she's been unreachable for 24 hours. So he calls her mother, Susie, to say like, hey, have you heard from her? And Susie's like, no, she's your responsibility. And I told you not to marry her, dumbass, but you did. So like, don't be calling me, asking me where she at. I don't know. And so he then is like, man, I don't know where she is. So he decides he's going to hang out with his homeboy, Grant. And he's going to meet Grant at the Last Stop Saloon in Old Sacramento, where they are going to play a rousing and amazing game of skee ball together. And here's Grant. He says to Grant, so sorry for waking you up, getting you up so early to film this segment. And Grant's like, yeah, no problem. I think that Grant could wear a white t-shirt underneath there. I don't know why it's black, but I think he could put a white one on. I think it would give him a fresher look, a less video game IT tech nerd incel look. You know what I mean? So he then tells Grant, girl, she gone. And Grant's like, I told you so. Grant's like, I hate to say it, but I told you so. And he's like, I know you did, man. I just thought I could, put a cape on her and rescue this hoe and she would realize what a great person I am, especially because I let her keep all her other tricks. And then our good friend gets a prepaid call from inmate Courtnee is on the line. To accept the charges, press 1. And he presses 1. Isn't it just so convenient how the cameras happen to be rolling when Will gets this phone call? Providence, if you will. Kismet, meant to be. And so she, just with the saddest of the saddest, is like, hi. And he's like, Courtnee, what are you doing? And she's like, well, they did a search of the rooms and then they asked me, do I have anything that I shouldn't? And they found GHB. And he's like, what the is GHB? She's like, it's a syrupy drug. I was like, oh, so scissor or lean? Does Percocet come in liquid form? That is dang. They can't give me anything in liquid form. Because the minute that shit hits my system, is what I'll be. Is how I'll be. Okay. So, anyways, she's like, I could be in here for another 24 to 48 hours or 6 months. And he's like, 6 months? I didn't sign up to be a prison husband. And it's like, yeah, you did. When you got with an addict, you did sign up to be a prison husband. You did. You know your wife commits crimes. She's a criminal. And not from the drug use, just from the things she's done in order for the drug use. So, like, what do you mean you did not? And so he's like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, can you put my allowance on my books? And he's like, no, just sit in there and suffer. And she's like, you want me to feel bad and worse? Anything else you want to do to shove in my face? And so for Will's like, she was due to parole in Sacramento. And I was really excited for that. But this is absolutely going to mess that up. And so he's like, I think I made a mistake. And we're all like Grant, we're all like, yes, girl, you did. And so he's like, eat that gel food and wait your ass out. And I thought, bravo, Will. Thank you. Keep coming with the one-liners that you don't actually mean. Because the truth is he's going to pay for her and he's going to do all the stuff. But that one-liner, eat that gel food and wait your ass out. Yay. I liked it. Okay. So next couple that we're going to talk about is Demondrick and Quiana. And they really want us to believe that this is some type of throuple with adding Jawala. Ooh, Jawala Wala, ooh, bang bang with this terrible ass wig. This, looks so. People are just willing to not have their natural hair out so much that they are willing to look crazy with a wig on. Because look at her wig. Look at Quiana's wig. Quiana's wig is cute. Now, I'm not a wig person to be able to put it behind my ear. Like, I need a wig that you just throw on your head and go. Like, I've been really experimenting with glueless wigs. And with a glueless wig, you can't do the stuff behind the ear because most of the time, like, the thing covers my ear anyway. I just got a strap in the back. Cute. But this is a woman who takes a lot of time on her hair. She goes to the shop, but she also works at a shop. But then this situation looks like she did this at home and she is experimenting. There's an experiment happening. And I say, don't do it. So we have a scene where his father comes out and he's like, boy, ain't you supposed to be moving out? I want to play my video games. Which leads me to believe that the room that Demondrick was going to stay in is now going to turn into a gaming room. So good for him. And we see footage of Quiana's kids. And they are so cute. And then we see Demondrick explaining in his confessionals. Sorry, I have my notes here. So I'm looking at what's going on and why they're in the situation that they're in. But first, they want to do like a little sharp situation where he's like, first I was with Quiana, and then but Joella, my baby mama, so I gotta get her time and attention. But at the end of the day, I got tired of all the back and forth and the fighting in the line and all that. So that ain't me. That ain't me. And I'm like, but it is you. It is you, Papa. It feels like you don't want to be monogamous and you've never wanted monogamy. You don't want it, you don't want it. And so with that, with that comes you jumping back and forth between these two women. So I think that there needs to be a space created for a man like Demondrick was the name? Demondrick. Yeah. I remember his first name is Demon. It's Demon Rick. Okay? Demon Rick. So that or maybe we can call him Demon. I can't have my shit not monetized. So that's and so hi JW. Oh my god, Rodney. He just has 2 side chicks. Because he doesn't want that. Joella got that Ellen DeGeneres wig. No. Ooh, it looks so dry. Hydration. Hard wig, soft life. No, I can't wait, you guys. Anyways, so he then has to choose, and they want to do this trick with us where we don't know exactly where he's going. Is he going to go to Joella's house? Is he going to go to Quiana's house? Because we have a scene with Joella talking to Demondrick Jr. Is like, you excited your daddy going to be at your birthday party this year? And he's like, yes. And she's like, okay. And we find out that she's throwing a party for the baby, and that there's some stipulations to who can attend said party. So we have 2 knocks on the door. Quiana at her house receives a knock on the door. Joella at her house receives a knock on the door. And we're like, which house did Demondrick choose? He must have chose his baby mama. He must have chose the woman who was born 3 of his kids. He must have chose the woman that has his kids, right? That seems correct. But no, he chooses Quiana. And I don't think anything's necessarily wrong with him choosing Quiana. But it's the fact that Quiana can't understand that Joella is a necessary evil in their lives. Evil. As a baby mama herself, she should understand the importance of having a father there. Now, I do know that Quiana worked like 3-4 jobs. So maybe the baby daddy isn't really doing what he needs to do. But we did see evidence of him online last year for her first season, because he came through and was like, LOL, I didn't even know my baby mama did this. And she did it on the low, because the kids weren't involved and she would have had to get his permission to put the kids in. But now the kids are in, so he gave permission. And I'm like, oh, I don't really want to see her kids. I don't like to see the kids. Now, Joella is confused because she's like, I don't know why Quiana is specifically coming after me, because I'm just one of many of Demondrick's girls, okay? But I'm the one that has his kids. So it feels like I have the most right. Quiana done gone through this man's phone, put up pictures of Joella on Facebook. Now, I don't know if it's considered revenge porn or if it's illegal, because the pictures that we see that were put up are her in lingerie, but lingerie that can easily be a bathing suit or a bikini. So it's not anything that's revealing, but Quiana's been real petty, real petty. And so she's like, listen, I know Quiana want her man and she don't want me to have anything to do with her man or whatever. So, okay. And I'm like, God, I can see you have 3 kids by this man, or at least 2, because I don't know if one of them is his kid. But like, that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of shooting at the club. That's a lot of busting in the guts for then Quiana to have to do this to her. So it's like, Quiana girl. Ronnie says side chick ethics do not exist. They should. They should. I mean, the wig does give audition for the part of the scare. I can't with you. Get out. I cannot. I will not. Demon, get thee behind. So for the birthday party, Joala does not want Quiana to come. She said Quiana kids can be there because obviously Joala kids, Demondrick's kids, and Quiana's kids are going to have to get along because they're going to spend some time together. So they can come to the birthday party, but Quiana can't come. And Quiana's like, doesn't she know that like I'm going to be a part of your life? And I'm just like, Quiana, you, as much as I'm on your side and I like her and I wish the best for her, I'm like, you can't just treat Joala like this. You just can't. Because the person everyone needs to be mad at is Demondrick. Period. Okay. Next couple that we're going to talk about is Justine and Michael. Don't have that picture of them together, but here's Justine with her 2 under 2. And then here's Michael with no hair. Listen, I am not interested in this Michael. Okay. This Michael, fine. Fine. This Michael, that's Justine's husband. He aight. Yeah. Now between them, they got 9 kids. Okay, and they got the 2 other 2. They got Million, which I didn't know what his name was, and Manhattan Barbie, not Malibu Barbie, not to get confused with Trisha Paytas, but Million. And I imagine they're always like a milli, 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 a milli. I can just imagine that for him. How would I feel if I had just like a song from the 70s as like something that had my name in it? What if it was like, that's in the 80s, but let's just say the 80s. It was like, oh, Wahima, let me love you till the morning comes. What I mean, I think it's really cool to have a song with your name in it, but I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think like what would I be like? Tisha, Sharonda, Monique, Rika Leak. Like what does that look like? What does that look like? Woo! Michael's glow down is diabolical. Girl. Vegas Michael is different than fresh out of jail Mike. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So anyways, they're all in the kitchen doing whatever, and someone mentions, because it's Thanksgiving apparently, so we have 2 mentions. We have one to kind of speak about where the mother is, and so he's like, I'm really sad my mom can't be here because she has to work, and it's a voiceover, so they threw it in because they were like, the audience is gonna want to know what happened to his mom because remember she moved to Vegas. And I was like, we didn't need that, because I sure don't be thinking about what that lady doing. I sure don't be thinking about it. I even forgot she had moved there for them. There would have been no recollection in my mind that would have occurred. So it was interesting that they threw that in there for that. Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Oh, Mickey, what a pity you don't understand. You take me by the heart when you take me by the hand. Oh, Mickey, like you, Mickey. Oh, Mickey, don't break my heart, Mickey. Okay. You're welcome. So she charges the older girls to do a charcuterie board, and the charcuterie board looks bad. Not only are charcuterie boards no longer in fashion, and if you are going to do one, it needs to be it. It's so funny when you see things like happen at like certain levels of like class, and then they kind of trickle down, and then what the trickle down effect looks like, and then how long it is. Because I really feel like charcuterie boards were all the rage when I lived in California. Because I remember my dad can't say it. And he was like, what is it called? Charcuterie? And he was just laughing because he thought it was the funniest thing ever. And I even bought a charcuterie board from someone because I knew someone who did them. And I really feel like this was like 2018. I mean, 2018. This was a while ago. Okay. And they're over here talking about make the charcuterie board with these, I was like, I'm gonna need you to go on ahead and get a nice, good brick of nice Trader Joe sharp cheddar and get a cheese knife or whatever knife you need and cut it up. You were not gonna go to Walmart and get you the Equate brand cheese block or pre-cut cheese and some like, I don't even know what it's called. What is the deli meat called? Like Oscar Mayer deli meat. roll it in a circle and throw it on on a piece of wood and call it charcuterie. No, that's not. No. So, anyways, that's what they're doing. We find out that baby girl Melody has gotten into a fight, and that a lot of her behavior is because of Mike, I guess. Like, that's his, biologically his child. So she picks up some of his traits. And she said that, these girls came at her. And so she just handled business. And, whatever happened, happened after that. And I feel her on that, because in my mind, I truly could see some hating ass hoes trying to come after her, especially if they know who her parents are. Or if, Melody was being a little like, well, I'm from the, let me tell you, sometimes East Coast people can rub not quite West Coast people in the wrong way. Okay. Sometimes that can happen. I feel like if you're fully West Side, you don't give a fuck what an East Coast person says. But if you're just not quite West Side, if you can't fully throw up the W, then like you got a little chip on your shoulder. And you're like, this is Vegas. And she was like, guess what? This is Rhode Island. And so she beat her up. Now, Mike says that she gave her the 1-2 piece, and he's kind of proud of her, but at the same time, like, doesn't want her to go down that path. And I don't think she will. I think that with Justine there and the power of the 9 children, I don't think that unless Melody really is upset about whatever happened in her past with her parents and her dad and like this shift moving to Las Vegas, I think that she'll be fine, because she seemed pretty like relaxed about it. She's like, well, I had to handle business. And I get it. Sometimes you just got to handle business. You know what I mean? So she's trying to apply to schools, and Justine and Michael, while they have all their businesses in tow, they are kind of still worried about all the kids that they're going to have to put through school. And I was like, do not worry. All them kids are not going through school. Statistically, 9 children, not all 9 of them are going to be in school that you're going to have to take care of. Like, so you should be fine. Justine and Michael have a luxury car rental business, and I love that for them. I really do admire the fact that they have all these businesses, and I say all these because they've shown us a lot of different things they're doing along the way. I don't know what they all are, but I'm happy for them. They got 9 kids they got to take care of, and I know working a regular job isn't going to do it. Yeah, Mike, this is not Mike. This is not working for me. This Las Vegas Michael is not working for me, and that's fine, because that's Juju's man. Okay, that's Juju's man. That's not my man. But he was so fine before that it brought light to my day. So the big drama for them is that she wants a wedding, or no, that's not what it is. How they presented it to us is that, because every couple has to have like a drama going on, right? So their drama is that they got married in prison, and he felt like the wedding was just like him getting called down, saying some vows, and then getting shot back up. For her mother was there, his mother were there, people were there, and so the girls were there. So she feels like the wedding was fine. And he's like, no, Justine has gone through a lot, especially with the baby scare and being pregnant and all that stuff. Like, I just want to give her the wedding of her dreams. And so they're talking about it. They reveal this information to the girls, the 2 older girls, Kylie and Melody, and they're both like worried that they're going to say they're pregnant again, and they're not. So they're like, thank God. And then when they tell them, okay, we're going to get married, we're going to have a wedding, Justine is like, yeah, it should cost about $60K. And Michael's like, $60K? And she's like, yeah, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to. She wants to celebrate his culture. I guess his culture's wedding festivities are just like out of this world. And he's Guyanese, which you find out. So now we know that he is half Dominican and half Guyanese, which I love that for him. I love that Caribbean mix for him. Okay. We've got a mainland Caribbean of South America, Guyanese, and then we've got an ocean Caribbean of the Dominican Republic. I love that for Mike. So she wants to do all of that. Now, the elephants sound ridiculous, but to me, weddings are ridiculous. Like, to me, they are ridiculous. Like, the people who are like, oh my God, I can't wait for my wedding. Like, it's so pivotal in so many people's lives. And it never was in mine, because I could truly never visualize it because of never having a boyfriend. But I also was like, it costs too much money, and it scares me, because I think such a large overture of show of love in front of everybody and then have it not work out is like, would be devastating to me. And I would be very upset if I paid X amount of dollars for a wedding and then we ended up getting divorced, or that I hated it or whatever, right? It's a big expenditure of money, and it was never a part of my like ecosystem. And so when people are so into it, like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Now, I know Mike and Justine are going to make it. I know they're going to make it. I don't have any doubt of their love. Okay. I feel very confident in them. So if they want to do a big wedding, they can do one. But he wants to do some kind of barbershop business on the side as another, way to make money. And he wants to use the profits from that to pay for the wedding. But he feels like he can't tell Justine that. And so that's the sense of drama that they're having right now. And my thing is like, she didn't even want the wedding. So like, why'd you push it on her? And at the same time, you want to start this business, and why can't you just tell her I'm gonna start this business? We're gonna have to hold on the wedding. It just feels like nothing has been signed, right? Have you guys hired the planner? Have you guys started buying the items? Like, why the secrecy? So that's their situation. Michael's worried. Next couple. Before I move on, though, guys, thank you so much for joining. 36 people in the room. Please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Please support your girl by getting it on the thing. What is this? Justine Wants Coming to America, whatever. Not the other thing. Yeah. By putting it into the algorithms, give this video a thumbs up. If you do want to support your girl financially, you want to give her a little dollar if I make you laugh, a dollar to make you holla, you can do so with all these choices on the bottom there. Okay, next couple that we are going to talk about is dumbass JK and Brooke. Now, I'm going to enjoy their segments because they're so silly, but it also is very silly, So JK and Brooke, they've taken something called pre-seed, and right now they are trying to help her conceive by having her lay on her back. And now that I'm looking at this pallet that they have on the ground here, I think this is where they're sleeping. So like they sleep in the living room and I guess are fucking all night, or I mean having sex. This is not the podcast, Wahima. You can't just cuss, YouTube will take that monetization away. They'll take it away. So they're doing that in order for her to conceive because he really wants a baby. And they're of the mind that if they have a baby, it'll only bring them closer. And I want her to realize that based on her pattern of behavior, is that true? And the answer is no, because her other baby daddies did not do what they were supposed to do. So why would she just now have another kid with somebody else? Girl, I can't. I just like, people they don't watch the same TV as I. They don't have the same timeline as me. Because for her to think that bringing a child into this world for this person who can't keep himself out of jail is crazy. So he's, again, trying to help her conceive because they want the baby. Now his mother comes out and his mother's like, listen, y'all can't be holding me hostage in my own home. Okay? I need you to figure it out. He's like, Mama, I just got to prison. I got to have sex. And she's like, are you wearing condoms? And he's like, no, because I want that baby. So Mama Googles how much it costs to have a baby, and it's $300,000. It's almost $400,000, in fact. And so he's like, okay, it's too much. It's only been a month out of prison, and she feels good about their relationship because they've talked about buying land and putting a house on it. And they've just had all these great talks to where she thinks that means that this is going to work out. For him, it's hard to find a job. Number one, he doesn't have a social security card. And B, he's like a 2-time felon or whatever. So he is like, well, so one thing I can do is I can get this job carrying items to and fro, ferrying goods across the country. But only thing that I need is a car. And so he then starts to look for a car and says that there's a truck that he's interested in buying. It's called high shining, this action. So he's going to start to do high shining in order to, be a power couple with her. That's the other thing. That's the other terminology that I just don't get when people are like, oh, we're a power couple. Are you a power couple? To me, a power couple is a two CEOs who get together and have power within their couple, in their coupledom. Or maybe not even two CEOs, maybe just two highly driven people. The woman is doing all the domestic things, but she's, president of the PTA. She runs the local chapter of Girl Scouts. She is a part of I don't know, the women's town committee. Like she does all that other stuff in the community. Maybe she's running for office. You know what I mean? She's doing other things. The husband does one thing but together they are Captain Planet. And their powers combined make sure that they have influence. It's like Bill and Melinda Gates and them is power couples. You and Brooke are just talking about being regular ass two dual income family people. If by that standard, my parents are a power couple. So I don't know why we're changing the definitions of these things, but it's frustrating for me. Wahima-Lino, it's frustrating for me. So he then goes to see this truck, and he gonna tell this man that he don't got the money for the truck, but he just wanted to waste this man's time by coming out and seeing the truck. Now this truck is not worth $25,000. Is it? I don't know. Is it worth 20? Somebody tell me below. Is it worth $25,000? I'm like, it looks like it could be worth 15, 12, depending on the mileage. $12,000, but 15, 25,000. So he goes and does that. And while she does that, she goes to meet with Bonnie. Bonnie, who wants JK so bad that she can't stand it. She'll throw every woman around him under the bus, including his mama. She will drive the bus to drive over his mother and his grandmother. Now, Bonnie is the roommate of Brooke. Now, we ain't seen Bonnie in a minute. But it's because it looked like Bonnie didn't have no job. So they were like, you don't got no job, you're not going to be on the show. So Brooke has been paying all the household bills because Bonnie didn't have a job. And now that Bonnie has a job, Brooke is like, listen, I don't have one now because I walked out on my job to cuss out JK. So I've lost my job, and you can't tell JK because I have only $23 in my pocket, and he will leave me if he finds out I don't have a job. And I think to myself, if you have been taking care of a man emotionally and you went and picked him up from prison, did all this shit for him, and about to try to have this man's baby, and he would leave you because you don't have a job, then is that the man you want to be with, girl? You let me know, because it doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like it at all. Doesn't sound like it at all. Okay? These two are getting on my nerves too, Josie. Okay? And look at this. He doesn't even have 2,500. What is 25,000 pennies? 25,000 divided into 100 is what? That's $250. Trying to conceive on a pallet in his mother's floor while your kids are God knows where is absurd. It is wild. It is wild and nasty business. Okay. So Bonnie then immediately is like, oh, Brooke, what you say to me is between you and me, girl. Okay. Bye. Going ahead and look for a job. I'm gonna stay here at my job and not tell you that they're hiring or offer you a job here. You gonna find another job elsewhere. I'm just gonna get on my phone and text my friend to call me because I got some information for that friend. So, that's the drama that she's now going to run back and tell JK. So I'm like, the producers are producing this season, but the actors are not acting. You know what I mean? Like, this is too much. This is too much producing for me. It's not even that deep. But the way that they're making this is a produced thing. Will and Courtney feel very produced. Mike and Justine feel very produced. I don't know what the drama is between Letitia and her man yet, but like, yeah, I'm like, there's a lot of production going on in this season. It feels a lot. Like, can you guys ease off the pedal? This is supposed to be a docuseries. This is supposed to be a documentary style reality show. Like, don't like force this storyline down our throats and make these bad actors act. They can't do it. Okay, next couple that we have are Bianca and Daniel. I'm almost towards the end of the video, you guys. This is our last couple. If you can go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. There's 39 people in the room. I don't know how many thumbs ups there are, but I hope that it's a good amount. You know what I mean? And again, if you want to support your girl, you can do so down below. Let me see. I've turned off all my notifications, so let me make sure. Great. Okay. So next couple, I already told you Bianca and Daniel. This is one that frustrates me because I think that it's not produced because Bianca is just such the perfect candidate for this type of show. There's equal parts delusion and like selfishness that is rolled up into this one like seemingly teenager. She is very very immature, and so it makes for a really good television but also very frustrating because when I can see somebody like Daniel who's actively trying to come out of addiction with somebody who doesn't understand what addiction is and thinks it's just like all about willpower, and also I think that there's something odd about Bianca. It's like she wants to be look a certain way to people, and I think other women, like it felt like she was really jealous of Celeste in this episode. And it just rubbed me the wrong way when she's like, well, I guess I'll try on wedding dresses too. But let's back up. So first of all, they got an apartment together. He's been out of prison for 6 months. She still hasn't had a job. He has a job. And she's saying that now they moved into this new apartment. In 4 months, she expects some kind of ring. She expects a commitment. And he's like, listen, I'm still trying to work on being sober. I want you to get a job, and you don't understand like how things should work in the real world. You have money now, but there'll be a point where you don't have any money and you cannot depend on me. So I need you to get a job so that we have a safety net of the money that you have. And then we can move forward to being the power couple that JK wants. Or whatever, right? But that's not what Daniel says, right? So they go to a place called Barbell Saves, where we meet this lovely woman who seems like she could be a sponsor for a few people. But basically, Barbell Saves is a organization that helps addicts to kind of focus in on working out and take some of that stress and anxiety of being in the real world by working out. And so they do that. And he invites Bianca to come, and Bianca of course is scared and is like, I've never worked out, I don't know how. So we're gonna get like a girl who's like, you know, and I get it, like, but it's weird to me people are whiny about stuff. So he hasn't been there in a while, like he's missed some times, and he ends up telling her, Tammy, that it's because he relapsed, and that's something that Bianca doesn't know. And he relapsed when Bianca went to his cousin's wedding in Iowa, and he went to hang out with another cousin named Rob, and he ended up relapsing in the airport, and he's been really down on himself since then, so he didn't feel like he should go. And it'd been 5 years. So that's a long time to go without drinking and then to relapse. You think you've got it under control, and then you have a moment where you don't have it under control, and then you break that and it starts all over again. So, you know, he is going to get back into Barbell Saves, but I think he's having a hard time with Bianca because of all the expectations that she has on him, which he promised her. And he understands that. I think he's scared of being alone, and he feels like, you know, if he doesn't have her in his corner, then like who does he have? His parents, who are equal addicts and going through their own thing. Like, I get that. I understand people who don't have a safety net of family, that they feel like they got to latch on to whatever person comes into their lives and hold on as tight as they can until they can let go, until they feel comfortable letting go. And it feels that's what he's doing. That's not fair for Bianca at all, but she also is crazy. So like I don't feel any sympathy for her, which I feel like I should, but I don't, girl. I do not. So Celeste is getting married, which is a friend that we met in the last season, which I barely remember. Celeste is getting married, and she ends up going to dress wedding shop with Celeste, which I'm like, unless Celeste's whole family has like, what's the word, pushed her away? What's it called when you don't want somebody in your family? Disowned her. Why is she going wedding dress shopping with Bianca, who she barely knows? Bianca just moved to wherever they are right now. Bianca's from Texas or whatever. She moved to be where Daniel is and Celeste is. So like, why go with her? Now we do have an over enthusiastic salesperson. Okay. This man is so excited, and he finally gets his moment, and he's like, she's putting the va in the boom. She looks spectacular. And then we have this picture of Bianca, and I'm like, is this spectacular? You know, so it's like she's like, I'm kind of jealous of Celeste because I wish that I could have the things that she has with her man. And I really, really think that if me and Daniel had a pregnancy, it would make her and him really happy. I really think that. And I'm like, God, oh Lord. Production did send them. I just can't. I can't. It's too much. You guys, it's too much. All right, you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me today. And thank you for those of you who are going to watch this later because you cannot watch it in the time. What time? I was supposed to put down below. It starts at 21:17, I think. That's what I'm going to put there. Recap starts at 21:17. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. This was fun. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will be doing Love After Lockup weekly. It'll either be on Monday and Tuesdays. I'll obviously give you guys that heads up once I figure out what day it is, and then we'll go from there. But otherwise, it's been a pleasure, and I haven't done this in a long time as well. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay.